So Bob, why don't you tell us where we are?
We are at Muckleshoot Casino. As you can see right here, they sponsored this video. They bring this to you, baseball fans, every single week. So in order to thank them and just give you the proper atmosphere that's going on here, we decided let's come down to Muckleshoot Casino and record this week's edition.
All right, Bob, the Mariners went into this Yankee series 6-1 on the homestand and 16-9 in May. Does it feel like they're starting to turn a corner?
It does. I know a lot of people want to qualify it because they took 4 from the Oakland A's, who are the worst team in baseball, and that's fair to a certain extent. But the A's are going to win, bottom line, minimum 45 games, which means they're going to beat teams that are better than them. They can jump up and bite you at any time. They just beat the Atlanta Braves, who are one of the best teams in all of baseball, and beat them 7-2. So I wouldn't sleep on the fact you took 4 in a row from that team. That's hard to take 4 in a row from any team. Right now, it's a winning homestand. If you can get 1 against the Yankees, of course, I'd love to win the series. If you can get 1 against the Yankees, you went 7-3 on this homestand. Before the homestand, if we ask you these 10 games, they go 7-3, are you happy? Of course you are. If you want to nitpick and talk about, well, they didn't get this many against the Yankees, they got this against the A's, you play the schedule in front of you. By the end of the season, if you get up around that 90 win mark, all of these are going to be part of it. And that's what you're going to need to get into the playoffs, because the AL East is so ridiculous right now. So you're going to have to get into that 90, 92, 93 win range to get into the playoffs. And those A's games are going to count as much as any win against the Yankees, as much as any win against the Braves. So listen, if they can get 1, hopefully they get the 1 tonight and tomorrow, win the series. But if they can take 7 of 10 at home, I'm happy.
So Julio's been on fire lately. Is Julio back?
I think he is. I mean, he's the AL Player of the Week. He hit almost 500. He's got an 8-game hitting streak going. More impressively, he's got a 6-game hitting streak going of multi-hits. So he's had 6 games in a row where he's had at least 2 hits. He's got 3 of his last 4 games where he's hit a home run. He's not being beaten by the fastball. He's not out in front of the off-speed stuff. And more importantly than everything, you're not seeing him chase the way that he was. You're not seeing the strike zone was huge. He was chasing everything. He was a sucker for soft stuff low and away, and he was being beaten up and in by the hard stuff. So you haven't seen that. And I know it's only been a week plus, but he's found it. I think you can see that there's a different confidence. You see his timing is there. He's on the fastball. He's not chasing. So yeah, is he going to hit 500 every week? No. He's going to cool off a little bit. But I would say it's safe to say he's back.
So would you keep J.P. Crawford as the leadoff hitter, or would you put Julio back there again?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. JP has done a nice job as your leadoff hitter. Still leads your team in on-base percentage. That's what you want from your leadoff hitter. You want him on base. Guys behind him, bring him in. That's the goal. He's done a nice job there. Julio has found his stride, found his rhythm, found his swing, if you will, in the 3-hole. And that's initially when we talked about this at the beginning of the season, that's what I was hoping for. I know Julio can hit leadoff. He did it last year, he did it this year. But I think he's got more value when you bring him down to either second, third, or fourth, and he can do some damage as long as the guys in front of him are getting on base. And JP's been doing a nice job of that, whether he's in the leadoff spot or in the 9-hole. He's done a nice job of getting on base this year, again, leading the team. So his average has gone up since he's been the leadoff hitter. Julio has found his success in the 3-hole. For right now, I'm not touching a thing.
What do you make of the stumbles by George Kirby and Bryce Miller in their last starts?
It's baseball. It's baseball, man, especially young guys. Bryce Miller, we were all wondering, all right, it's not if it happens, it's when it happens. We saw Luis Castillo go out there and get blown up. We saw Robbie Ray last year go out there and get blown up. These are veterans, Cy Young Award winners in some cases. You saw Logan Gilbert go out there and everybody goes out there and just throws up a dud. Whether you're a rookie like Bryce Miller or whether you've got 10 years of experience, it happens. So it wasn't, that concerning for either one of them. It's more surprising for Kirby because he's got such great command. He's a guy that does not give up hard contact. He's a guy that just always, even if he seems like he's having a bit of a rough inning, he just has got such impeccable command of his pitches that he's able to get out of it. So That to me was more surprising than Bryce Miller. You knew what was going to happen with Bryce. For me, the interesting thing is going to see, how does he respond? How does he adjust to that? What does he do differently than that last start? Or does he do anything differently? Or is that just more of a product of, command wasn't quite where he needed it, quite where he wanted it. And the Yankees are mashers. That's a tough lineup. And listen, you got to give them some level of credit for jumping on him. They jumped on him early. They had a great scouting report on him, and they did what they should do. Let's see how Bryce adjusts. But in terms of concern about either one of them, I'm not concerned about either.
The AL West leading Rangers aren't cooling down. How worried should the M's be about them?
You should be worried. I mean, I think we're all sitting here wondering, all right, this is a nice start. That's cute, but they're going to come back to earth and be the Rangers. It's a team that's invested a lot of money in that product. Now, last year it was Simeon and it was Corey Seager. Now this year it's DeGrom and Eovaldi. They've done some nice things with that rotation. They seem like the real deal. And now they got Corey Seager back. They've been maintaining this without Corey Seager. That's the worrisome part to me, is that this offense has been extremely potent without one of their biggest, weapons, if you will, one of the biggest acquisitions they've made in years. And now he's back, and he started out hot. Corey Seager is hot right now. So, I'm going to choose to believe that they're real. Are they going to play at the clip that they're playing at currently all season? Maybe not realistic, but I think they are the real deal. And right now, the Astros have heated up, and it feels like those two are neck and neck in this whole thing. Mariners have got some work to do. They can't dig a hole so deep that those two are so far out of reach. They've got no shot at the division. We've talked about the AL East. That's going to crush the wild card. So, you need to make hay when you can in your division. And obviously the wild card is probably the more likely avenue for the Mariners. They've got to keep the pace they've got going now and maybe increase it, because it doesn't feel like the Rangers are going anywhere.